Hi, Wes Maple. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a room in one-point perspective. For this, you're going to need a pencil and eraser, and you will be erasing a lot, so please draw lightly. And you're going to need something to draw a straight line with, so something like a ruler. If you don't have one, you can do it freehand. I'm going to show you how to do freehand. It looks a little bit better when you draw it with a ruler. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is I am going to draw a rectangle in the middle of my paper. It doesn't matter what size it is. The smaller it is, the bigger your walls and your floor and ceiling are going to be. The only thing I do want you to make sure is that the bottom and the top of the rectangle are parallel to the sides, so they're completely horizontal, and then the sides of the rectangle are completely vertical and parallel with the sides of your paper. So I'm going to start off with my rectangle in the middle. I'm just going to kind of connect it here. And then someplace in the middle of there, I'm going to put my vanishing point. So if you remember from the last video, we labeled a VP last time. You can label it, you don't have to. Now, to establish the walls, the ceiling, and the floor, I'm going to start from that vanishing point. I'm going to line up the ruler from the vanishing point to the corner of the rectangle, as carefully as I can. And then I'm going to draw a line starting from the corner all the way to the edge of my paper. I'm going to repeat that to all four corners. So line up the ruler from the vanishing point into the corner of the rectangle. Draw a line out. This is going to establish our walls, our floor, and our ceiling. So this is what the outlines of the room look like. So this is our ceiling. I'm just going to put a light C in there. We have one wall, second wall, and we have our floor. Now, this is where the two rules that I wrote down come in handy. So remember, when you draw, all of the surfaces, so the walls are vertical surfaces, the floor and the ceiling are horizontal surfaces. There's only two kinds of lines. There are lines that match the surface, so they're either horizontal or vertical. And then there's lines that go into the vanishing point. If you keep those rules in mind, you should be good to go. And then always start working from the sides and work your way in. So this is the space that's closest to you. So I'm going to show you how it works fairly quickly. Let's say I'm going to start working on the floor. So I'll erase the F real quick. And I want to put wood floor. So I'm going to put some planks. I'm going to start off by lining up my ruler to the vanishing point. And I'm going to draw lines. They kind of start from the bottom of that rectangle. Remember, this is a back wall. So I'm going to draw a line going out. Then move my ruler over a little bit. Draw another line. Make sure at all points in time, this is the line that goes into the vanishing point. So I need my ruler to stay lined up into the vanishing point. Think of this as a pivot point where it kind of stays there, and it's just the bottom of the ruler that moves. Now, if you want, you can always measure out so to make them exactly even. I am going to eyeball it just to make the video a little bit shorter. So I'm going to keep going. Now, if I didn't have a ruler, kind of think of it as it starts from here, and I'm going to put the lines as straight as possible. So if you kind of compare the two, you can see why I say it looks a little bit better with a ruler. And then you would have to erase all of these lines because that's the back wall. We don't need those lines anymore. Now, in between over here, so this is my one line that goes to the vanishing point. Remember, since this is a horizontal surface, I'm going to need some horizontal lines. So somewhere along the line, the way I like to work is I like to make sure the edge of my paper, the edge of my ruler are parallel. And I just put some random lines between the boards. Since we're trying to simulate this being a wood floor, the planks won't all be the same length. I'm just making sure that these lines are completely parallel to the bottom of my paper. If you do it without a ruler, just kind of make sure that this line and this line are parallel. So as you can see, it's starting to set things up, and I probably need one extra line over here. So there you go. That's how you draw a floor, wood floor. If I wanted to make a carpet, what I could do is just simply stop up here and then someplace over here and establish this as an entire carpet area. It's up to you. You can be as creative as you want. Since we already worked on a horizontal surface, let's work on one over here. So I'm going to show you how to do lights. So imagine you have a series of lights. Remember, start out from the top, especially if they're the rectangle lights. You can kind of establish of how wide you want them to be. Line up your ruler, remember, to the vanishing point, and then draw a light line from the rectangle up into the ceiling. Do the same thing over here. Line up the ruler to the vanishing point, and then connect it to the line. So this is now going to become the left and the right side of my lights. If I want square lights, I'm just going to put some horizontal lines in between. Remember, make them parallel to the edge of the paper. And this will make a little more sense in a second. So in between, I'm just putting in some horizontal lights. So this is kind of almost looks like a ladder. Grab your eraser afterwards, and I'm going to erase a few lines just to space them out. So those lines that went into the vanishing point, I'm going to erase in between, the line between the lights that I don't need. So now I have 3 lights going back into space, showing how they're getting smaller. If you want to add a chandelier, so over here I'm going to add 2 chandeliers. I'm going to start off with kind of a squished oval where I think the chandelier is going to go into the wall, or if it's got a little emblem. Then from the middle, add in however the chain comes in. Just make sure your chandelier hangs straight down. We do want gravity to actually work in here. And then if it's a normal light, just add it in here. Alright, now walls. So remember, the lines on this are going to be vertical lines and lines to the vanishing point. I'm going to start from the edges. So if I want to put a door on this wall, I'm going to kind of think about how tall I want my door to be. Doors go fairly close to the ceiling, which is right here. So I'm going to start off with a completely vertical line, so I'm matching it up to the edge of the paper. I'm going to say my door is this tall, closest to me. From the top there of that line, I'm going to line up the vanishing point on top of that line, and I'm just going to draw a line going toward the vanishing point. This is going to become the top of my door. Once I make it as wide as I want to make it for the door, I'm going to put another vertical line. And this is going to become my door. Now, if I want to put a window in the door, I'm going to show you fairly quickly without a ruler. Remember, I'm starting closest to the edge. I'm going to say my window and the door is this tall. From here, I'm going to put a line into the vanishing point, a line into the vanishing point. That's going to become the top and the bottom of the window and the door. All I'm going to do is match it with another completely vertical line. So this is a window inside my door, and I'm going to erase all of the extra lines. Somewhere in here, just make sure you put a doorknob as well. I'm going to go to this wall. Let's put one large window. So remember, the door, I made it go all the way up from the floor. This time, I'm just going to say my window is this tall. I'm starting closest to the edge again. From here, line into the vanishing point, line into the vanishing point. That automatically becomes the bottom and the top of my window. All I have to do in between, wherever I want my window to end, put another completely vertical line, and this becomes my window. If I want my window to split, I'm going to put a line, vertical line over here. I'll kind of figure out where the middle of my paper is. Put a line into the vanishing point. I'm going to give it bigger. So the split in the middle of the window just gives the illusion of a bigger window. And then lastly, the very last thing you guys are going to do is put whatever you want on this wall. And this is the only wall where things are going to look normal. So if I want a TV mounted on here, I'm going to sketch it out. Sketch out the TV as it's mounted on here. Maybe a stand on the TV. Then a cabinet that holds everything together. Just make sure the feet of the cabinet come to the floor. Remember, add in shelves. So pretend this is my TV. Add in shelves for the media. And I'm trying to go fairly quickly. And that's how you draw a simple room in one-point perspective. I look forward to seeing all of your drawings. Once you get everything drawn out, by all means color it in, shade it in. You're welcome to do it black and white, but do give it some kind of sense of space. So do color some of the parts in. All right. Have fun drawing, West Maple.